Countrywide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lamp.
If you're just joining us, we are here at the Institute of Rural Professionals conference. One of the first people I think I met when I first joined was 2019 as a member of the Institute, now a proud partner of the Institute, was Carla Muller is here with me, and you were the president?
Probably. I probably signed your membership certificate. You've probably got that autograph somewhere, Sarah.
Oh. So the reason we're talking to you is you won the Rural Professional of the Year last night to a very proud crowd.
I did. It was very humbling. Standing up there and hearing that citation from your peers is certainly an experience. Blown away, totally humbled. Was nominated by one of the team, and I found out who was my referee, and yeah, they've been amazing and just said such lovely things.
A really important evening, actually, and it's great to have been to a couple of them now, and it's great to see excellence being acknowledged. I just think we might just acknowledge the other finalists as well. So Andy Whitson, he's the National Sales Marketing Manager for Farmers Weekly. Carla, you obviously won it. Daniette McEwen is an environmental consultant. Greg Dryden, who I've known for quite some time.
Highly commended last night.
Highly commended, yes.
Yeah.
And we should get him on the show, actually.
Yes,
yeah.
Definitely.
Horticultural consultant, fruitition, horticulture. Honor Miller, Senior Associate at Tappendale and Partners, and I know Honor, she's a fantastic young lawyer, and Rosanna Dixon, so Senior Manager at LIC. So really high calibre, and it shows the breadth, I think, and looking at that list of what people do, the breadth of what Rural Professionals as an organisation covers, right? The whole gambit of the ag sector.
Yes, and when you think about the history, it started as the Farm Management Society when farm consultants were farm systems consultants. Now you look in the room and yes, we still have phenomenal farm systems consultants and we still need to grow and develop more of those, but we actually have a much broader range as well. So we've got environmental specialists, we've got a bigger and growing contingent of horticulture, we've got lawyers, we've got accountants, we've got, when I first joined, but when I was on the board, I was actually at NIWA, and so, in a scientist role. But all of those people working together make each other better and stronger, and that adds the value to the farmers.
You want to ask her, don't you?
Oh, no.
What?
How are you dealing with preparedness conversations with El Nino with your background? I didn't know you worked at NIWA.
I did a short stint at NIWA in their economics group. The preparedness conversation is a really interesting one. Andrew Tate from Earth Sciences New Zealand now, I believe it is, presented today on it. And
he was great.
It's scary. Like some of the stuff coming is scary, but we do need to prepare. I'm 100% advocating we need to prepare, but we don't need to over prepare. I think, we can only play the cards that are in front of us at the time. There's no point panic selling stock now. There's no point doing anything that's quite dramatic yet.
We heard from our friends at Ravensdown that there's FERT going on in Southland in August.
The climate is crazy out there. I mean, how many storms have we had come through in the autumn in the last few years? So be prepared. Do what you can to shore up things like feed on hand. Look after your animals really well. Make sure they're all in condition. Do what you can to maintain quality and covers, but actually don't over prepare. Don't panic and do things out of panic yet.
Yeah, because you can over prepare. Like also, what you need to do is to make sure that you've got that buffer, right? But
Yes.
Keep farming normally, but keep that buffer up your sleeve. I would not assume that this is going to be a normal spring, though, and a normal summer. That would be the last assumption that I would make.
Yeah.
I would assume a drought or wet and cold, depending on where you are in the country.
Correct. And part of that risk management and that buffer is getting your team around you. Do the team on farm understand what could be coming and what that might mean? Have you got the right people? Have you had a proactive conversation with your FERT team, with your bank manager, to actually make sure you're in the position of that? If you have to make those calls, it's not a cold call. You've been talking to them, you've been communicating, they know where you're at, you know where they're at.
So the most important thing is look after capital stock first and foremost.
Yep.
And when you're doing budgets on production, are you taking into account potential drops in production across dairy, sheep and beef, etc.?
I think so. I mean, we're seeing a range, as you said, Andy, it's going to impact differently, and people are in different positions because some people have had some really great seasons recently and have a lot of feed on hand. So actually their production might not drop as much, but they will need to make those decisions as they go through. I mean, a budget's great, you need those, but you also need to make the marginal decisions on the day. It's not I'm going to dry off now, because we actually don't know what milk price will be at that point. We don't know what those feed things will be. So just keep the fat in the system, if you like, to be able to give yourself flexibility. But yes, there will need to be some conversations about production levels.
If you're the other preparedness, if you're in a dry area, stock water is absolutely crucial, right? And there are a lot of farms that are still running on spring water and dams and whatever. So stock water systems, and if you've got a reticulated one, make sure it's up to speed and not leaking.
And that's not just a message for this season, right? I mean, it's something that people need to be growing their own awareness of, is actually, in their strategic planning, are they considering capital investments to water? Because again, you don't want to be sitting in an El Nino drought going, I really needed to have spent that money on my water system 5 years ago. So, again, plan for the season, sure, but also think about what that means for your business moving forward and how you can build those resilience.
Sarah and I were discussing a comment that you had around the table of rural professionals running to keep up.
Yeah.
Are you experiencing that? And if so, what's changed? Why is there so much urgency, workload for rural professionals nowadays?
It's a really interesting take. I don't know that I would say we're running to keep up. I think you've got to be really clear on what your role is, and you've got to have clarity on what you bring to the table. And we heard it from Charles yesterday. You've got to do your role really well. There is a lot of noise in the sector. There is a lot of noise out there in the whole world. How many times have we heard geopolitics in the last couple of days? But you've got to be out. Your role is to cut through that and actually bring that calm and bring that clarity to your clients. So people might be running to catch up, but I think actually slowing down, that's where I'd say slow down and get that clarity.
Good advice for all human beings watching, actually.
I will try and take my own advice.
Including myself. Hey, we also had the Emerging Rural Professional Awards acknowledging the winner, Emma Ratcliffe, who works for Progressive Meats, and Alex Coddington is a highly commended livestock market analyst. All women. And this is a trend that's been going on
Here we go.
for a while.
Great
So
question.
the other conversation at my dinner table last night was the erosion of the rural professional male and the concerns the Institute have for that.
It's funny, when I joined the board, we were having a conversation that was similar around diversity, but it was very much age-centric. We seem to have helped address that, and there's some phenomenal young people through the Emerging Awards, but also just in the room today and yesterday. We've captured a much broader gender split in the room at the moment. We're still missing a really strong ethnicity diversity across the room and the profession. But yes, there is a lot of young women coming through, and that's great. But we also need those young men. They have quite different ways of being, I think, when they come into a profession, and both are really incredibly valuable. We are seeing, we at Perenag do a scholarship every year, the John Perrin Scholarship, and we take graduates, and so we are seeing quite a few young males come through that, and they're phenomenal. We're also seeing really, really capable young women. So I think they're out there. It's probably more about how we bring them all into the industry, into those roles, and then support them and grow them, because I suspect some of them are going farming. Yeah,
I've just wondered if that was the case. More of them are going out on farm. It's interesting. I've spoken to a few guys here of a slightly older age group, and a lot of them talked about their time farming, and then they've moved into, say, working with Dairy NZ or working into consulting work. I'm wondering if it's almost like with young women, where you more come out of a graduate process into an RP role, whereas the guys seem to do the farm job and then maybe move into a rural professional role in their 40s, 50s kind of thing. Is that, I don't know, it's just an observation from the last couple of days.
Yep. We certainly within the Perenag team have some that have taken that pathway, and it's a valid pathway. There's nothing wrong with it. It's experience. You're still managing businesses, you're still managing risk, you're still learning all of that kind of stuff, and you're learning the practicalities. So it's an absolutely valid career pathway into being a rural professional.
Yeah. Amazing. Hey, thank you so much for your time. I didn't introduce you properly. Carla Muller is the Principal Director and Consultant.
Principal Consultant and Director.
At Perenag, which is a farm consultancy business here in New Zealand. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much for having me, guys.
Great. Amazing.
Countrywide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perry-Lapp.